Number one independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, with service centers like the big boy says, all over the place for you to come on in and get some help with your computers when you got stuff going down. We do computer repair. We sell new computers, new laptops, new desktops. If it touches a computer, we pretty much handle it over at Schrock. Number to join us on the program this morning if you have a question or a comment, 888-250-2091. Quick program note, Compute This is recorded at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. You may not be hearing it at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, so there could be a delay. If you call this number and you want to be a part of the program, give us a call between 7 and 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, 888-250-2091, and that'll get you on the show so you can be a part of the program. So last week, if you missed the show last week, it's all up on all the social channels. We have it up on YouTube, Rumble, iTunes Podcast, YouTube, everything. It's all up on the website, SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on the radio show tab, and you'll see all the latest shows there. But last week, if you missed the program, we told you all about the new iPhone 4 and how Steve Jobs' daughter was trolling it. It's basically the iPhone 4. Did I say the iPhone 4? It's the iPhone 4. Woohoo! The new iPhone is basically the same as the old iPhone. So nothing super new there. We revisited the basics on securing your PC, securing your laptop, securing your Mac, securing your server if you have a Linux server, making sure your wireless network is safe and secure. We just went over all the basics last week. So if you're looking for a refresher in that, that's a great segment to listen to from last week's program. Also, we told you about some new protections from Duck, the makers of the DuckDuckGo search engine, the privacy-focused Duck browser, and now their new email service, which is basically a forwarding service. So you give people your Duck email address, and you never set up your computer to go check your Duck email. Duck just filters the email and then forwards it to your real email address to get all the scams and nasty stuff and all the trackers out of the email. It literally splits off all the trackers out of the email so that when you get an email, no one knows if you've opened it or not. I think I used the example last week of me accidentally opening an email that was something about, Ace wants my opinion on something, and we had just bought some equipment from Ace Labs, a data recovery lab. And when I opened this email thinking it's from Ace Labs, it was actually an email saying that Ace Hardware wants my opinion, which is not likely. And now I get literally, I'm still creating. Yesterday I created another one. I'm checking my email right now to see if I have, I have this 5-second hack to perfect blood sugar. That's important. So the spam is a little light this morning. I've been making rules trying to filter this stuff out, and it's just been oppressive. And that's what this Duck email thing is going to do for you if you engage it. So we told you about how to get that up and running on the program last week as well. Also, we did remind you that maintenance checkups are still on special over at Schrock Innovations. They are on special for $59.99 instead of their normal $90 price. So you can pick up, you can come into the service center and just get one done to your computer if you'd like, or you can grab a certificate from the website at SchrockInnovations.com. Those certificates are good for a full year, for 6 months. They're good for 6 months. So you can basically, if you don't need maintenance now, let's say you just bought a new computer, you don't need maintenance right now, but you want to make sure you take advantage of the special offer, you can bank it now by buying a certificate and use it anytime in the next 6 months. So it's a pretty neat deal there. You can check that out. All right, so coming up on the program today, we got some rumors. Rumors are floating around, and they are just that, rumors right now, but the source of the rumors has been very credible in the past. We may have a release date for the Microsoft Windows 10 and Windows 11 22H2 upgrade, and it's coming a lot faster than you might anticipate. So we're going to tell you about that. Also, you may have heard this week about Uber's security breach. If you've ever taken an Uber anywhere, this is pretty bad. Your information has been taken. So, it looks like the hackers, whoever got in, had access literally to everything. Everything. So that's pretty bad stuff. Their stock got hammered over the week because it kind of just shows a lack of basic tech knowledge of compartmentalization, where one employee doesn't have access to everything. And if there is one employee that has access to everything, they're usually like a management level person that's not going to get tricked by an email scam from the Nigerian prince. Just saying. So we're going to tell you what happened there with the Uber breach. Also, there was a new version of iOS that came out, iOS 16. It wasn't a huge, there weren't a lot of changes. And so we didn't really cover it too much on the program. But after installing it, a lot of people have been reporting their iPhone's battery life and battery performance has gone through the floor. So we're going to talk about that coming up on the program. There are some basic things that happen with every iOS upgrade. This is a common complaint, and so we're going to tell you how we can address that and make sure that everything gets taken care of that way for you. Also, there's a question out there. There is no doubt whatsoever that solid-state hard drives by far have better performance than mechanical hard drives or hard disk drives. But do they last longer? Are they more reliable? That's something that, technicians will even disagree on this, because I'll hear guys in the shop, customers will say, well, is it more reliable? And, guys in the shop will be like, it's way more reliable. And then, in the data recovery lab, they'll tell you it's kind of binary. If it's reliable, if it's working, and if it stops working, it stops working completely. There is no kind of sort of stopping to work. It's binary. It's a switch. It either is on or it's off. There's actually a company out there that runs a data center, and they have a blend of mechanical hard drives and a blend of solid state hard drives in their data center. And these hard drives are seeing way more action than your hard drives are seeing. It's a data center. And what they report on reliability, we're talking about failure rate. Like, will the drive fail? The failure rate on these drives is something to be impressed by. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, one of the things that's come up in the service center a little bit, I had a few customers this week who had solid state hard drives in their computers, but their computers were performing more slowly than they would like. I had one gentleman that came in for a core upgrade to have his computer upgraded so it could run Windows 11, new motherboard, new processor. When we got it in there, we found out his hard drive was running a little slower than we would like. That's a leading edge indicator of failure. So like I said, solid states are binary. The only warning that we get is if the input-output rate on the drive starts to drop or the capacity of the drive starts to drop. If the capacity drops, Drive Advisor will go off like a Christmas tree saying this drive needs to be replaced. If the input-output rate drops, that's not something that Drive Advisor regularly tests, because it's like saying, I want to see if your engine's working by putting the car in neutral and revving the engine a few times. But I'm going to do this like every day, maybe a few times a day. You that's stupid. You wouldn't do that, right? So just the same way Drive Advisor doesn't sit there and rev your computer's hard drive engine over and over and over again to make sure it can actually rev. But when we bring it in for a maintenance checkup, once every 6 months or so, we do rev the engine and we check it and we make sure that it's actually performing at the speed it's performing at. So this particular solid state hard drive, it was a 120. It was a small one. It was in a computer that was a 2018 Ultimate upgrade. It was 4 years old, and he was getting a new getup basically, so he could run Windows 11, new motherboard, new processor, new memory, the whole enchilada. So we test the hard drive, and the hard drive tests a little slower than we would like, but not like mind-numbingly slow. So I just gave him a heads up, said it's running a little slow. It's nothing to be super concerned about at this point. That is a leading edge indicator of failure, but it could run slow for a long time, that kind of thing. I mean, it was literally on the edge of what we would consider too slow. And I'm like, this is right on the edge, And I literally, the week before, I preached to my employees, guys, this is a cliff. If the number is under 300, if it's going slower than 300 megabytes a second, that's a cliff. That's a bad hard drive. And here I am, it's a $299.5. And I'm like, yeah, you're spending like $1,100 with me here. It's $299.5. I'm not gonna stress you out about it. Literally, I was upgrading Windows on his hard drive, and the stupid son of a biscuit died. Literally, it died on me on the bench. And I'm like, it's a cliff, Thor, you moron. So when we tell you that your drive is running slow, it's not. It's a leading edge indicator of failure. In the same way that as you're driving down the road, hearing the ka-thump of a tire is a leading edge indicator that your rim is about to get trashed. Okay. It's going to happen. It happened to me. And so then we put a new hard drive in and we're reinstalling all of his stuff, and the computer is way faster and more stable than it was before. So yay us. But, and we got it taken care of under warranty, which was good. He had a warranty, so there's no additional cost. So everything came out okay in the end, but it was just a lesson in solid state hard drive diagnosis and maintenance. And Thor, follow thy own rules. That $299.5 is over the edge of the cliff by 0.5, but it's over the edge. Treat it that way. All right, 888-250-2091. So mention that there's a rumor. There's a rumor floating around. We know that there's a big update coming, both for Windows 10 and Windows 11. It is the 22H2 upgrade. Where does that wonderfully creative name come from? 2022. Okay. H2, half 2. We're in the latter half of 2022. It makes sense, right? It would also make sense that there was a 22H1, but there wasn't. They just skipped that one because, yay, Microsoft. So 22H2 is coming, and it could be coming as soon as Tuesday, as in 2 days from now. Depending when you're hearing this broadcast, I will be more specific and say it could come as soon as Tuesday, the 20th of September. 2 days from the airing time of this broadcast. That is earlier than expected. We actually were calling it the October update because Microsoft never puts these things out on time. The source is not confirmed by Microsoft. So Microsoft has not announced it. They never do announce it. This source has been reliable in the past with other Microsoft inside information. So it is entirely possible that on the 20th, we could see this update. Now, if the update comes out and you've purchased a copy of Safe Upgrade, when the update is released, a few things have to happen in the moments after it's released. Number one, before we push it to any of your computers, we first upgrade one of our computers. A straight up upgrade test, automatic upgrade. What will our customer expect to see if the upgrade is allowed to go through automatically? Number two, we begin downloading the updates. We're going to download the update for Windows 10 and the update for Windows 11. And then we're going to run those updates locally on computers in the service center to make sure those updates work successfully. There's no massive, error problem or, weirdness that happens after the update. Doesn't break Sophos, all those stupid little things that you don't think about. Then we have to upload those two files to our super fast web servers. That takes a few hours to upload them. They're big updates. Then you're going to get an email and a text message and a phone call and a Facebook post and a Facebook Live to make sure it gets your attention saying it is time to download this software. Now, there's a couple things I want to make you aware of when you download the software. If you purchase Safe Upgrade, I would like you to take a moment today to determine what version of Windows you are running. Are you running Windows 10 or are you running Windows 11? Half of you in the audience right now just went, well, duh, I know exactly what I'm running. And a quarter of you are wrong. So please double check because it happens every day in the service center. People insist they're running, my Office 2022 is working great. And you're like, there is no Office 2022. Do you mean 22H2? That's not out yet. It might be coming out on Tuesday. So please take a moment to double check. The easiest way to know is to look down at the bottom of your screen. Almost every version of Windows 11, the icons at the bottom of the screen are centered into the middle of that taskbar. So on Windows 10, your start menu is clear over in the left-hand corner. On Windows 11, 99% of the time, it's centered in the middle of the screen with other icons to the right of it. That's the easiest way. If you want to get complex about checking it, if you right-click on that Start button, you can left-click on System. So right-click on the Start button, left-click on System. This is just a shortcut to your System control panel to the About page that will tell you Windows 10 or Windows 11. What are you running? Why is this important? As I mentioned, there are two updates coming. There's an update for Windows 10. There is an update for Windows 11. We are doing everything in our power to make this as stupid simple for you as possible because we want it to be magical. We want it to just work. So a lot of you are using Chrome. A lot of you are using Edge. Some of you are using Firefox like me. Well, guess what? Firefox is a little more privacy focused. So when we try to auto-detect what operating system you're coming from on Firefox, we have a problem. But Google Chrome will hoover up all the data it can about you and your computer so we can detect your operating system pretty easily. Same thing with Edge because it's Chromium. So if you're using Edge or Google Chrome, our system is automatically going to send you to the right place. If you have Windows 10 on the computer, it's going to give you the Windows 10 upgrade. If you have Windows 11, it'll give you the Windows 11 upgrade. If you're running Firefox, we won't be able to tell. You'll get a page that says, please select the version of Windows that's appropriate for you. Then you need to know, are you running Windows 10 or Windows 11? Now, we are in the process right now of engineering a new piece of software, a new version of Safe Upgrade, if you will, that baked right into the update itself. It will auto-detect what your operating system is and then download the correct update regardless of what you select. We are working on that update. We have the code written. It's ready to go, but we have to sign it. Without getting too deep in the weeds here, whenever somebody publishes code, if it's unsigned code and you run it on your computer, it brings up all those security warnings. This is not safe. Don't run this. Keep anyway. Are you sure you want to do this? We obviously don't want that to happen when you're running one of our updates, so we have to sign it. To do that, we need a EV code signing certificate, which is a flash drive. You pay a bajillion dollars for it, and you have to prove that you're you, and then they mail it to you. That flash drive is currently traveling to us from the UK right now. It's supposed to arrive earliest date on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Supply chain, you see, they were a little slow in confirming our certificate. It took them a month to confirm our certificate. So yeah, Tuesday we may have a big update. Tuesday, it may be time to run it. We're going to make it as easy as possible for you. It could be even easier on Wednesday or Thursday than it is on Tuesday, but we are here to get you through it. Now, what should you expect from this new upgrade? If you use Safe Upgrade, everything should go pretty smooth for you. The worst case scenario thing that's going to happen is you pick the wrong operating system and you say, I'm Windows 11 when you're actually Windows 10. And you try to run the Windows 11 version and it's like your computer is not compatible. Or if your computer is compatible, it may just install Windows 11. We don't know. We haven't tested it yet because we don't have the update yet. Those are the kind of things we're going to test. Like if somebody running Windows 10 accidentally runs the wrong one, is it just going to put them on Windows 11? It's possible. Will they still have their stuff? Well, hopefully. So yeah, these are the kind of things we need to test. So what you can expect when this update comes out is it's going to start, if it hasn't already started automatically downloading to your computer, it's going to start automatically downloading no later than Tuesday. Microsoft likes to download the update in the background over a long period of time because it's a big update. And then when it comes time to install the update, it says, update and reboot. And you think, it's just a little update. And you click reboot. And then all of a sudden, this huge update is hitting your computer and, you don't even realize it. The second Tuesday of the month is Patch Tuesday. So that was the 13th. That was this previous Tuesday. So that means that update cycle is out of the way. So in theory, releasing it on the 20th might be legit. Again, it's just a rumor. Now, with this said, if you were thinking, I'm not going to make this into a big Safe Upgrade sales segment because there's two types of people in the world. There's people who are going to do Safe Upgrade and have us safely install this update. And then there's people who are going to see if it just works automatically. Okay. At Schrock, if you purchase Safe Upgrade, we get to take care of you. We get to prevent a problem. At Schrock, if you don't buy Safe Upgrade, we get to charge you 2 hours of labor to fix your problem. So either way, we're fine. I mean, we're going to be okay. It's trying to keep you safe is what we're trying to do, trying to keep your data safe. So take this opportunity this weekend, if you haven't done so recently, to ensure that you have a current backup of your data. Please have a backup of your data. If you have a backup system running, just double check that it's working. Just take that opportunity to do that regardless of how you're going to get this update, because it could be coming as soon as Tuesday. Now, right now, we have 42 copies of Safe Upgrade left in stock. Yesterday, we had 80 or 81 or something like that. Now we're down to 42. So I will tell you with certainty that we will sell out before Tuesday. At the rate we're going, it's a foregone conclusion, especially after the radio show today, and especially after it airs in all the other markets, we're definitely going to sell out. So if it's something that you want us to do for your computer, Safe Upgrade is available on the website. If you prefer to bring your computer in, there are some people who say, Thor, your Safe Upgrade software is great. I'm not a do-it-yourself kind of person. I don't want to mess with it. You can bring your computer into the service center. Some people bring them in this is just a rumor, guys. It's, again, a rumor we believe is reliable, but it's still a rumor. So I don't want you to bring your computer in on Monday and drop it off for a Safe Upgrade and thinking it's going to come out on Tuesday, and then we end up holding your computer in the service center for a month. That's happened before. So wait until we tell you, hey, it's out, because of course people get concerned if it isn't going to automatically install if I don't get it in right away. Well, if you turn your computer off, nothing installs on it. So just turn it off. And then when you bring it in, we'll install it for you. And we can do it in the service center as well. So there's a lot of different options for you. 888-250-2091. We're going to take our first break of the program here. When we come back, if you've ever taken an Uber anywhere, they had a really bad security breach this week. So we're going to tell you what's going on there, how it impacted their stock. It got trashed, and what this means for your data coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation, the modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Well, we are going to have a very busy week on our hands this week, guys. We are in the middle of a maintenance checkup special right now, which is convenient because that means, if you bring your computer in for maintenance, you're going to need an upgrade to the newest version of Windows 10 and 11 when it comes out, potentially on Tuesday, as we talked about in the last segment. Those of you who have copies of Safe Upgrade, we'll let you know as soon as we... when it comes out, it depends what time of day if they release it in the morning, we'll have it up by the afternoon or the evening. If they release it in the evening, usually it goes up late in the evening or the next morning. Not because our guys are sleeping, but because literally we have to test and then we have to upload. We try to do those things in tandem, but still it's 6-7 hours of uploading to get the update ready for you. So it takes a little bit of time on our end, but don't sweat it. Your computer is not downloading faster than our computers are uploading. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. So you may have heard about Uber having this security breach. A hacker is believed to have breached Uber's entire network. It was a social engineering hack where one security vendor says it's the most extensive in the company's 2016 global data breach, the most extensive in the company's history, and gave access to logs and allowed them to be potentially altered. So what is social engineering? We kind of joke on the radio, I can secure your hardware and I can secure your software, but I cannot secure your wetware. That's the gray mush between your ears. I can't make that any better. And so if somebody tricks you into letting them into your computer, hey, I'm the Microsoft guy, your IP address is infected, I'm just calling you at random, but really I'm going to make it sound like I'm calling you because super important. Are you with Schrock? Why, yes, I am with Schrock. I don't know who this Schrock guy is, but yeah, I'm with Schrock. Oh, okay, well, go ahead, let's remote into my computer and take care of this infected IP address. And then you allow them to remote into the computer, and from that point, they do whatever they want. That's social engineering. That's getting tricked via an email, via a phone call, getting suckered into letting somebody into your computer. And that's what happened to the guy here at Uber. We prevent this from happening from our customers that are running Sophos protection. We literally have tamper protection enabled now. Tamper protection prevents you from uninstalling Sophos. Because obviously, if you want to uninstall it, you're going to let us know because you don't want us to charge you again. And then we can turn off tamper protection and you can remove it, and that's fine. But we don't want to have some guy that you think is a security professional calling you and telling you that, oh, his tool can't run because of this Sophos garbage and we need to uninstall it. It's because he's trying to run a virus on your computer and Sophos is stopping it. That's why he wants to uninstall it. So we stopped that from happening. Then we went a step further and said, let's not let people not even allow them to remote into your computer. So yeah, if your son or your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, or whatever is trying to remote in and help mom or dad, that's great. Just give us a buzz and we'll temporarily allow remote access so that they can pop in and help you out. Do they pop in and help you out a lot? We can turn it off permanently for you individually if you like. But this keeps everybody safe by not allowing them to make stupid wetware decisions or to get tricked, basically. Or if they do start to get tricked, it's like when you go into Walmart to buy the $500 money pack, and the person at the counter is like, why 86-year-old woman, why are you buying this $500 money pack? Oh, I won the lottery and I need to send this in to get my winning ticket processed. You're like, that's a scam. Don't do that. That's kind of the role that we fall into at that point. So Uber reportedly suffered another massive security incident, more extensive than the one from 2016. A hacker on Thursday was believed to have breached multiple internal systems with administrative access to Uber's cloud services, including on Amazon Web Services and Google's cloud. So they literally had access not only to all the user data, but all the algorithms and software that you run on your devices. The attacker is claiming to have completely compromised Uber, showing screenshots of where they're full admin into these two, AWS and Google control panels. Uber has since shut down online access to its internal communications and engineering systems because that's super effective. While it investigated the breach, the company's internal messaging platform Slack was also taken offline. The hacker, who claimed to be 18 years old, told the New York Times he sent a text message to Uber to the employee and was able to persuade the staff member to reveal a password after claiming to be a corporate information technology personnel or person from the basically. Somebody got tricked through a text message into giving their password to somebody else. No one's ever going to text you and ask you for your password. It's not going to happen. Don't do it. This guy should have known better. The social engineering hack allowed him to breach Uber's systems, with the hacker describing the company's security posture as weak. In other words, with one password, he was able to cascade through multiple systems. That's not supposed to happen. That wouldn't happen at Schrock. That's not supposed to happen. With the employee's password, the hacker was able to get into the internal VPN. The hacker then gained access to the corporate network, found highly privileged credentials on network file shares, people saving their passwords in documents. It was rough. It was rough. So basically, this guy rooted around everywhere. Quote, "This looks bad," the security expert said, noting that it was likely hackers that could now access whatever data Uber had. So whatever data Uber had. This would be your payment information, your personal information, your ride sharing or your ride hailing history information, people you've had rides from, where you go, what's your home address. All this is information that Uber has, among other things that it potentially collects through their app on your phone at all times. You ever notice that when you're running Uber, your battery drains really fast? It's location sharing. So potentially your real-time location was stolen in this hack. So it was pretty substantial. It's not the first time around the block for Uber. They should have learned in 2016, but they didn't. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break here. Don, stay on the line. Your call is coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Pam Puso. Royal rehearsals and preparations.
Some 2,000 people are expected to attend tomorrow's invitation-only funeral for Queen Elizabeth II at Westminster Abbey in London. The service will include a reading from British Prime Minister Liz Truss and a sermon from the Archbishop of Canterbury. World leaders and other dignitaries will attend, including President Joe Biden.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. After the funeral, 2 minutes of silence will be observed across Britain. As migrants flow into Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says border towns are in a constant state of emergency.
We have to absorb all the people that come in to overrun towns like Del Rio, a population of 37,000 people that have had 400,000 people in their sector.
Vice President Kamala Harris recently said the border is secure. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Mostly sunny, a high around 85 this afternoon. Clear skies 63 overnight tonight. Monday, sunny with a high at 89. And then Tuesday, it'll be sunny. We'll be in record high territory with a high near 96. That's your forecast. I'm Roger Olson.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Halftime's over. Hope everybody got their potty breaks in and is ready to get back to work. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Number to join us on the program, 888-250-2091. So we're going to go into the phones here in just a moment. Don, Kay, Richard, stay on the line. Hang with us. They're also coming up on the program. If you just upgraded recently your iPhone to iOS 16 and you're noticing your battery is draining faster, you're not alone. We're going to tell you what's going on and what you can do about it in just a moment here as well. Don, thank you for your patience. I appreciate you staying on the line there. How can I help you today on Compute This? Hello, Don?
Well, good morning, Thor. My question is about Safe Upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I bought 2 certificates And do I install something, or do I wait? And so I know you wouldn't know what computer I was putting them on, because I have more than 2 computers, but I can only get two done.
Right. So when you purchase Safe Upgrade, you're buying licenses that you can use to upgrade computers. We don't care what computers you're upgrading. You can upgrade any your computers, somebody else's computers. You have 2 licenses in your account. So once the update is released, we will send you a message saying it's time to download the software. If you try to download the software ahead of time or run it, it'll say it's not time yet. But when it is time, when you download it and run it on your computer, it'll ask you to log into your Schrock account. What's your username and your password? Username's your email. It's the same thing you use to buy the software. Your password is your password. Then it basically checks and says, oh, you have 2 licenses available. And then it runs the upgrade on that computer. And if it's successful, it marks one of the licenses as used. So it's pretty straightforward. That way you can use it on 2 computers. If you run it twice on the same computer, it doesn't burn the license twice. It's smart enough not to do that. But that's kind of how we figure it out. But yeah, you don't need to do anything until the update is launched and you hear from us. And at that point, we'll send you an email with very specific instructions. Go here, download this, run this program, do this, do that, do the other. And then we send those instructions out through every communications channel we have available to us to try to make sure that we get through spam filters and things like that to make sure you hear about it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm concerned. What if I'm not, I work, and if I'm at work when you guys say put the program on, and I don't get home till midnight to find out, it's not going to be a time problem.
No, you'll be okay. The thing with these giant updates, first of all, they are giant. As a result, Microsoft can't push them to everybody at the same time. So what they do is they push them to everybody at the same time really slowly. So it's kind of trickling into your hard drive. So it's going to take a day or 2 for it to download from Microsoft, unless you go and seek it out intentionally. Then you can get a more rapid download. But if you're relying on automatic updating, it's going to take a day or 2 for it to filter down to your computer, and that's assuming that Microsoft deems your computer as a computer that would be among the first batch to receive it. So newer computers typically get it first. Custom-built computers that are older typically get it last. So you have some time. It's not like you have to, you have a window of 4 hours and you have to get this done. If you run the software within 48 hours of the notice from us, you're usually okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't. I know there's that little box you can check to pause updates for a week, and I didn't know if I needed to check that or what. But
No, you'll be okay.
I'll wait till I get your notice, and then I'll put them on the 2 computers. I appreciate it, and I want to let you know I had just brought both my laptop and my desktop in for a maintenance check.
Yeah.
And Alex was absolutely wonderful.
Awesome.
He helped me with a problem that I was having, and then when I got home and the Safe Updater didn't
Secure Updater.
The updater wouldn't do my printer program. He said, just call you guys on Monday, and they would, he would walk me through it or take control of the computer and make my printer work again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things. When you have work done in the service center, you get a 30-day warranty when you take it home that things are going to go swimmingly well, and we're not going to bicker with you about whether or not your printer is, covered by that warranty or anything like that. Thank you for the call, Don. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you giving the shout out to Alex there. I believe that's the first on-air compliment Alex has received on this program. Alex is in the Lincoln Service Center, one of our newest employees there. So congratulations, Alex. Great job. 888-250-2091. Kay, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
I have a problem similar to your previous call.
Okay.
I have 2 licenses for your upgrade, and I paid to have them done through the Schrock desk.
Okay.
However, we are going to be traveling from Tuesday until Friday. Am I going to have a problem with not being able to contact you when it comes out?
Just turn the computers off before you leave.
Be sure. Oh, I will turn. We have the computers with us, but I will turn them off.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the computers are off, they're not going to download any updates. And like I said, the update is huge, so it would have to be on and connected to the internet for hours to download the update.
Okay, but I mean, I won't be able to do it within a short time after it comes down through you. There's no problem if I have to wait 4 or 5 days to do it?
No, not at all. That's what I'm getting at here, especially if you're going to be traveling or the computer's going to have intermittent internet access. It's not going to, or if you're using a hotspot or something to connect to the internet, it's just not going to be able to download the update in that amount of time. So you'll be just fine.
Okay, so all I have to do is call you when it's time, and then you'll take care of it, right?
You got it.
Okay, thank you so much, Thor.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 888-250-2091. So if you have an iPhone, you may have received the update to iOS 16 here recently. iOS 16 wasn't a huge upgrade. We didn't spend a lot of time on it on the program because it didn't really introduce a lot of new features or functionality, primarily because, the iPhone 14 is the same as the 13. So there wasn't really any need for anything much new. But one of the things that happens when you install a new iOS operating system on your mobile device, whether it's an iPad or an iPhone, is battery drain. And it happens every update. People, after the update, my battery is draining so fast. It's like something is not right. All right. So first of all, when you're doing an iOS update, it's always a good idea to have the device on a charger, first of all, because it consumes just a huge amount of energy out of the battery to do the update, because it's literally rewriting the entire phone. So having it on the charger, number one, will keep the battery topped off while it's doing the update. Number two, after the update is done, Apple has always been this way. Apple is all about having smooth, calm waters on the surface. And underneath, there could be some tumultuous activity going on. You could have sharks eating minnows under there. I mean, all kinds of nasty stuff could be happening. But you wouldn't know it because you're just calm, mirrored waters is what you're seeing. And your iPhone is no different. So after what is a hugely chaotic update, all your apps in the backgrounds have to update to be compatible with the new version. There's tons of stuff going on. Optimizations are happening behind the scenes. All these things are happening behind the scenes, and they're consuming the battery life of your phone. But you don't see any of it happening. It's not like you're getting pop-up alerts telling you all the apps that are updated or things that are happening in the background. All you notice is that you had 100% battery, and 20 minutes later your phone is nuclear hot, and you only have 80% battery. What's going on? What is this iOS 16 doing to my device? This is normal for an upgrade process. So it does take about 24 hours for this to completely norm out. So the best thing that you can do if you're going to upgrade your devices, your Apple devices, I recommend you update them overnight. So kick off the update in the evening when the phone is going to be on the charger while you're sleeping, whatever. And then it has all night to go through and do all of its optimizations and download its updates and do all the things it needs to do so that it's ready to rock and roll for you in the morning. Because if you run the update, throw the phone in your pocket and try to go about your day, you're not going to have a good experience. And it's the same with every iOS update. There's nothing inherently bad in iOS 16 that's causing battery drain. It's just a normal procedure from the updates that by now, most Apple users are familiar that there's usually a battery issue for 24 to 48 hours after you upgrade. It's the same thing here. Android doesn't have the problem, but then again, Android tells me everything it's doing. Like I see every app that's updating. When I reboot my phone, it says, please wait. We're optimizing your apps. And it makes me wait like 15 minutes. Well, Apple doesn't make you wait to use the device, but it's still doing the same kind of optimization in the background. It just, you don't see it. And that's one of the reasons why people are kind of mystified by the battery drain. 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the program. Richard, Dave, your calls are coming up next. Also, which is going to last your computer longer, a solid-state hard drive or a mechanical hard drive? We have some firm data-based answers coming up for you next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com.
Remember the good old days when virus detection worked like Where's Waldo? Spot the virus in the striped shirt and you win. Today's infections are changing hourly to avoid detection and use social engineering to trick you into making mistakes. Using yesterday's security to defend against today's threats is like using leeches to stop an infection. It just doesn't work. We recommend Sophos Intercept X antivirus backed by Schrock's virus-free guarantee. Sophos uses the power of AI to detect the patterns of a virus attack and responds with Schrock's custom actions that stop it fast. With Sophos on your PC, Mac, Android, or iOS device, you get the state-of-the-art protection you need to defend against the most advanced attacks out there. In fact, if your device gets a virus while running Sophos antivirus, Schrock will remove it for free, guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet, and we intend to keep it that way. Ditch your dad's antivirus and keep your device, data, and identity safe with Sophos and Schrock Innovations.
Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. Want to remind everybody we'll be doing an After Schrock on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations at the conclusion of the show. For those of you watching on Facebook right now and commenting over there, welcome aboard. I appreciate having you here. Try to interact with you during the commercial breaks there. During the break, Roger and I were just talking. I said, Roger, if somebody from iHeart Management, texted your phone today and said they needed your password to log into your account, I mean, obviously, and he was like, yeah, I'd give them that. It's like, really. But this mid-level guy at Uber, who has access to every system apparently at Uber, he just was like, guess the boss needs my password. Okay. What is going on? Like, come on. Oh my gosh. And yeah, we were kind of joking about that a little bit. 888-250-2091. Richard, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hello, Thor. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got two to say. I work in high security field.
I'm sorry, Richard. We're having a real tough time hearing you here. We're going to put you back on hold here and see if we can get you to a more stable cell area because we're losing. We're only getting about every fifth word, and I don't want to. You've been on hold here for a bit. I don't want to lose your call. So stay on the line. Let's go to Dave real quick and see if Richard can get that stabilized. Dave, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, good morning, Thor. I appreciate your call. I get to catch your show about every other weekend when I'm working, and this morning I'm on the way home. I've been wanting to find this for Sophos. I keep hearing you talk about Sophos for like my iPhone.
Yeah.
And is that just available on your site? Is that through you guys? So I've been trying to find it.
Great question.
I'm either spelling it incorrectly or can't find it where it's on your site.
Well, with phones, we have to actually have the device in the service center to install it because we have to scan a QR code with your phone's camera. So it takes about 10 minutes to do, but it's not a huge production. But yeah, we can set it up directly in the service center for you on your phone. You are absolutely correct. Sophos is a corporate level antivirus software. So it's intended, let's just say that you were like the IT guy at Uber and you wanted to put some security software on the computers that would keep everybody safe and protect people from making stupid decisions. You might install Sophos and then manage it across all the thousands of computers on your network. Well, what we do at Schrock is we tell Sophos, we're Shamrock Invocations over here, and we have lots of pooters in our building. They're all of you guys, all of our thousands of users, and then we protect all of your computers as if we were your network administrator. And that's why you can't find it online anywhere because nobody else does that.
Okay, how much is the price on it or whatever?
$1 million.
I live an hour and a half away.
$1 million.
How much?
$1 million. But since you're driving in from so far out, we'll give you Joe's half off sale, the Inflation Protection Act. Only $500,000 for you today. No, actually,
okay.
Mobile devices are $69 a year. So it's there's no increased charge for the first year like there is on a PC. Mobile devices are just the $69 annually, auto renewed.
Okay. My son does live in Omaha or works in Omaha, whatever, or out of Omaha. He actually stays with us half the time because he can do everything. He works for a computer company down there too. But
gotcha.
He works for Builder Trend, does stuff. So he can be wherever he wants. But I keep hearing this every week, and I was like, God, I want to get that on my phone if it's worth it.
It will definitely keep your phone safe for sure.
So do I need to set up a time to stop into a store?
No,
or do
anytime that's convenient for you, you just pop in, and then we can do it for you. Like I said, it takes about 10 minutes at the front counter, and we get it all installed on your device for you.
And that's $69 per phone then? Because we all have iPhones. I got four.
That's
four
correct.
in the
It's
family.
per device.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. Thanks for the call, Dave. I appreciate it. All right. Let's jump back into Richard here real quick. Richard, are you still with us?
Okay, do you hear me okay now, sir?
Hot diggity. I can hear you good, Richard.
Okay, this is a two-part question. I used to work in a high-security field when I was in the service.
Okay.
And 20 years ago, I used to use Zone Alarm software, firewall software.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
And it was really good. I'm kind of curious if it was any today.
You know, I haven't looked at Zone Alarm. I mean, it's way back before this show was on KFAB. I think we talked about Zone Alarm like years and years, like a decade and a half ago. And Zone Alarm used to be a free firewall. See, used to be antivirus didn't come with a firewall. It was antivirus, and a firewall was a separate service that you added onto it.
Their antivirus is terrible.
Yeah, and so you'd get good antivirus, and you'd throw the Zone Alarm firewall on the back end to keep your firewall safe. Well, now all these products like Sophos have built-in firewalls. Windows has its own built-in firewall now. So really, the need for Zone Alarm has kind of faded off into the distance, which I suspect is why I haven't seen an installation of Zone Alarm in years. So I would say it's probably unnecessary at this point.
I was curious about that because I just got a brand new computer back in June.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my first new computer in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And, I went cold turkey off the internet. But I was really curious about that because, 20 years ago, one of the features of Zone Alarm was that if you got a ping, and this was the paid version, you can actually trace it back to who was pinging you.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got pinged by NSA back then. Yeah, I know. And talked to my supervisors, which in turn we talked to my commanding officer, which in turn talked to a 3-star admiral at the Pentagon, which in turn talked to the director of the NSA, and the NSA just hated that program.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. That's a great story. Nowadays everyone would just use a VPN, so you could trace route the pings anywhere you want, and it wouldn't tell you anything. Hey, it came from Grandma's house over here. They're all coming from Texas. What's going on? During the break, I was joking with Roger. We had a customer. When you bring your computer in, we're going to ask you what's your password on the front desk so that we can get into your computer and do the work we need to do. And so, we write down the password. And this password was this big, long string of alphanumeric characters. And it made no logical sense. It was a great password. It was perfect from a password perspective. It had a capital letter at the start and an exclamation mark at the end. So it had punctuation, capitalization, the whole bit. But it didn't work. So I got the computer in the back and I type it all in. I was in the Omaha Service Center. I type it all in, didn't work. And I'm like, gosh, this password's not working. So I call the customer and we get together on the phone and she's like, well, hold on a second. And she was like, I can remember this password, but I have to say it out loud. And it was an acronym for, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to change my password again, $. So it was OMGICB. It was like, I guess if you're going to make a password, that's one heck of a password. So no one's tricking her out of her password for sure, because she could hardly tell it to me over the phone. 888-250-2091. All right, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Which lasts longer, solid states or hard disk drives? So there's not a lot of long data on this yet, because hard disk drives haven't really changed in the last decade. They've done tweaks and things like that, but they're still the same tech. More capacity for sure, but the same tech. Solid state hard drives have evolved dramatically over the last 5 years. And so really we only have 5 years of data on the existing, technology that is solid state technology, 5 years of data. Year 1 through year 5, the failure rates of solid state hard drives are 50% the failure rate of a mechanical hard drive. They are 50% less likely to fail. On top of that, they are 10 times faster than a mechanical hard drive. Now, the thing that's funny is after year 5, starting in year 5 and going forward up to year 8, there is a hockey stick on mechanical hard drives for failure rate, where 7% of all mechanical hard drives will fail by year 8. By year 5, only 1% of solid state hard drives will fail. So if you're considering whether you should have a mechanical hard drive or a solid state hard drive in your computer, obviously from a performance perspective, I can't believe these computers are still coming in. People bring in a computer like, Thor, it's so slow. And I get it on the bench and I'm like, it's because it has a mechanical hard drive. This is like, Thor, my computer's so slow, my gerbil is tired. He's running so hard in there and he just can't, he isn't as young as he used to be, It's because your technology is ancient and you need to get a solid state hard drive. So I made some recommendations this week in the service center for people to upgrade to the solid state drives. And the funny part is some people say no. Oh, I don't need that. You literally brought it in because you said it was slow. That was the whole reason you brought it in. And I'm telling you, this is why it's slow. And you're telling me, no, that's all right. You know what? Our job is to give you options. Your job is to make decisions. And so you get to live with your decisions. Today's winners, Kay, $25 gift certificate going out to you. Marissa will get a hold of you on Monday, Kay, and get that added to your Schrock account. Also, stay tuned for the Aftershock. I don't have anything super specific planned for the Aftershock, so we're going to play it by ear this time. So have your questions and the things you want to talk about ready, because I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. It always is. All right, we'll see you guys next weekend for another exciting edition of Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture